Alright, we didn't have a training last week since it was double XP. Right, so FYI, if you don't know, no training on double XP for future reference. The week before, which was the 27th, before I do that, just a few things I want to go over. I was listening the other day when Tal came in. When we go for operations from now on, I want everybody to make it their responsibility that we are in separate channels for the night, because I have been hearing that later on in the evenings we have been losing our cohesiveness and focus. So I want to make sure we stick into our squad channels for the event, the ops, just so we narrow down the communication and allow the squad leaders a bit more of a a break to think about what they're doing and that sort of thing. So everybody make sure, especially squad leaders, NCOs here, make sure, and officers from now on, make sure we split up into our own channels for ops. I want to see that happening. And I have to do this, but if you don't know, the Forgotten Honor community is on its yearly donation drive, so any donations you can spare, how little they are, I don't care, please give to the community. Thank you. I will post a link later on. And going to the training information, I'll pass that over to Talc. It was the 27th, the week before last. Go, Talc.
What, a recap on the Sundra stuff?
Yes.
Basically, we ran through a few things to do with deployment of Sundras and how they're quite useful, and the obvious don't, which is out in the middle of an open field, don't deploy it, so it's ultimately vulnerable there. But looking for good positions to be able to put Sundras to help move the line forwards, and not necessarily placing your Sundra smack on the front line, because that keeps the battle going. And sort of in a nutshell, that's what we were doing.
Yeah, learning to, place Sundras in reserves, pull in more than one Sundra when you're on attack, and that sort of thing. And what was it? The bounding or leapfrogging the Sundras as you push forward. That sort of thing we were doing. And at the end of the training, we did a little look at the blockade tactic we used in the server smash. We did a quick look at that so everyone could see what we did, because the stream missed it and they commented on it. So that's what we did on the 27th. What we'll do, I'll probably make some little images up to just show what we did as well with the Sundras. And I'd ask Talk as well to post in that thread as well later on, just to, if we ever go back to that topic, we got stuff to relate to. But yeah, on to tonight, Talk. Ash, sorry.
Fair enough. Okay, sorry I haven't been around for a while. Although the last time I was here, we ran a bit of an air squad with those things, Reavers. So, it's probably about high time that we had some kind of Reaver training. Now, I know we're all at pretty much different levels of skill, so we're going to do this in a bit of a workshop style. So we're not going to have some kind of monkey see, monkey do type setup. I've got a few topics I want to cover, and I want to try and make sure that everybody's got a sort of basic know-how for how they can take down your sort of high skill hover fighters using cheap and cheesy methods that will make them send you rage tells. Stop that from disappearing. Right, first and foremost is Tomcats. The lovely little pods on the side of this Reaver here. They are my personal favourite thing ever. They are exceptionally effective at long range, at short range, at any range because they home onto pilots. Your top dog pilot will be running fire suppression, not flares, so they won't even be able to counter this attack. And the Tomcats themselves are known as the Plink of Death in ESF circles. That's because you get hit by them once and you're suddenly missing a third of your health. Hit by them twice, 2/3, and so on and so forth. As you can see, my Reaver is currently in a lovely bright yellow camo with yellow lumifiber. If you are a confident Reaver pilot, please do the same. Have a nice bright yellow camo and bright yellow lumifiber. If not, please try to have something that is not bright yellow so that we can spot people who know what they're doing. Right, everybody's going to need an aircraft for this, so you'll need hover frame, you will need Tomcats, and that's about it. Try and reflect the kind of loadout you have on the live server, rather than the kind of loadout that you would like in the VR, because this is the one you're going to have to be learning with. Remember, hover frame is pretty much mandatory. Once that's done, if you could join me, I'll show you the little spot the 7th use for training. And Matt, if you could throw me platoon leader so that I can put a beacon down. Marker.
By the way, hello, and sorry that I'm late for training.
Okay, if you can either put a platoon marker on me, Matt, or just throw me platoon leader.
What guns is it?
You have it?
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes. Okay, there we go.
Weapons for the Reaver.
If you take Tomcats and whichever nose gun you have on unlocked rather than anything in particular, you'll need hover frame and Tomcats. As soon as you've got a Reaver, fly out to the platoon waypoint and land. There's a nice big open field, which is why we use it. Feel free to land on the road, pretty much anywhere near this platoon waypoint.
Oh wow. I mean, just night vision. I can see miles. Just land it. Make sure we don't crash into each other.
Just land. There's no particular format for this, just make sure that you're on the ground.
We blew up.
Congratulations, this is why we do this kind of stuff in the VR. If you do manage to trash your Reaver, just pull another one and rejoin us.
That's the second one.
Right, I have debated long and hard what the best method for doing this was going to be, but the truth is, I think that I can't do any better than linking you guys exactly how I learned how to do this stuff, and that is videos on YouTube. So this one is particularly good. Let's see if I can stick that in outfit chat. It's also available in TeamSpeak, it's also available in Say Chat, it's in Outfit Chat as well, so you can copy pasta that into YouTube. That is somebody doing the individual steps for a reverse maneuver, explaining them one step at a time. If you cannot do pitch up and pitch down as key bindings, feel free to come and join me. I'll be flying off into a different spot and I'll be showing anybody who needs to do that how to do that. So if you can nose up and nose down, feel free to start, get some practice on the reverse maneuver itself. If you can't do nose up and nose down with a key, then you'll need to join me, and I will be over at the Alpha Squad waypoint, so the green one.
Can you repeat what was the distinction between platoon waypoint and alpha waypoint?
Okay, if you do not have key bindings to make the nose of the aircraft move up or move down, you can come over to the Alpha Squad waypoint and I will talk you through that. If you're comfortable, if you have that done, if you can make the nose of the aircraft go up and down, you have everything you need to start with the video tutorial, and that will show you how to do a reverse maneuver. And the reverse maneuver is the core of this kind of cheap, easy air-to-air dogfighting technique I'm going to be teaching you guys, so you'll need to know how to do that.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
I'm really sorry, but which waypoint
User
is
in your
which?
channel timed out.
Once more, please. If I have my key bindings and
If you have the key bindings, you can use the YouTube video to start practicing the reverse maneuver, just so that you understand that. I've got to try and get everybody up to the same sort of level, so that's just going to be a practice makes perfect thing for now.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel. User left your channel. User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
What's a keybind?
Okay.
Dude.
When you move forwards, you press W.
Yeah.
That means W is bound to move forwards.
Right. Okay.
So a key binding is that relationship. The letter you press on the keyboard and what happens in the game.
Okay. I thought I was missing something then, but okay. Thanks.
So we can go to settings, and in the settings menu, so that is escape and then settings, there is a key binding option. It's the second from the bottom, and then along the top of that screen we've got 4 tabs. The fourth one along is called aircraft, and oh boy do we have a lot of stuff going on. However, none of this should be particularly scary, because we are looking for the key pitch up and pitch down. They are just above the one called throttle analog, which has brackets in its name, so it's easy to spot. But we're looking for pitch up and pitch down. Is anybody unable to find pitch up and pitch down? Excellent. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to click on the keybinding itself, press the button that you would like to use for that task.
My internet died there.
So you click on pitch up, you press the button you'd like to use for pitch up. For example, I use mouse button 5, and then you need to do the exact same for pitch down in order to change the key bindings.
Of course, mouse button 6 doesn't exist.
Well, I have two buttons on the side of my mouse, one's above the other, so I use those.
What's the best buttons?
The best buttons are ones on the mouse. If you don't have ones on your mouse, Q and E are popular, as are Tab and Caps Lock. Tab and Caps Lock are great because they're difficult to confuse, because one is directly above the other. Right then, has anybody failed so far to bind a key to both pitch up and pitch down?
It said mine had already been assigned as up and down.
Yep, by default they are up and down on the directional arrow keys. Problem is, that's on the other side of the keyboard, so unless you have giant freak hands, you won't be able to use them.
It doesn't do anything though.
They do. Right. So now we're going to test those. If anybody is anybody not confident that they've managed to do that yet? Excellent. In which case, take flight and press those controls. You should be able to do a complete loop the loop without actually entering any kind of mouse input. So just press the button and loop the loop. And then the most important one is pitch down, so you should be able to do an upside down loop the loop. That's the one I'm doing. But yeah. So you should be able to make your nose move up and move down, up and down, up.
That's
and
great.
down.
Managed to bloody get both buttons to press up.
Don't worry, that's just escape, settings, key bindings, and then pitch up and pitch down. Pitch up makes the nose go up, pitch down makes the nose go down.
Right. Oh, seeing as just flying always gives me a headache.
Yep. By the way, if you're not in third person, while we're all cluster bucking around, it's going to be worth hitting T and being in third person, just so you can see that little bit of space behind you. Right, if you can't get it to work, please come back and land on the Alpha Squad waypoint. If you've managed to get it working, congratulations, you have advanced to the next stage and can begin attempting the reverse maneuver. Ooh, how very special. So if you head over to the platoon waypoint,
The rest of them are left.
you can use the YouTube video to begin practicing.
User left your channel.
Right, and so according to this, it should just be me and T Diddy.
You were moved. User joined your channel. User left your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Whoopsies.
User was moved to your channel.
Who's not here?
Can I have
Sorry about destroying you, Alpha 3.
Can I have a
anytime,
question? Is it still possible to perform the old reverse maneuver which you made during forward movement by turning the plane and engaging afterburner and
User was moved to your
do
channel.
you know what I
User
mean?
was
The
moved to your channel. User joined your
all
channel.
I hear we've had some rebels.
What?
Well, I'm just asking how we all doing. Have we managed to learn them reverse maneuvers yet? Alright then. First thing we're going to do is we're going to give the folks who have just sorted their key bindings out a chance to practice the reverse maneuver. Once they're happy with what they're doing, we will move on to combat tactics and how we can use those in a fight. If you are bored and are waiting, you can hop out of your Reaver, unlock the Reaver, swap with somebody else, and you can begin shooting at each other if you really want.
It doesn't work in VR.
Yeah, you can still fight each other, you just can't kill each other.
can we damage each other?
Nope, you can't kill each other.
We can't hurt each other, there's no point in switching Reavers, is there?
But you can see your hits. The swapping Reavers is so that you know who you're fighting.
Oh.
It's just so the folks doing the reverse maneuver get left alone and they get dragged into dogfights. Huge props, by the way, to anybody who reverse maneuvers and maintains the crosshairs over their opponent. So you should be trying to create distance, where it's much harder for your Epine loving nose gunner to hit you, nice and far away. So they've got to use all of their massive skill to fight you. Whereas you can just generally aim some tomcats in their direction and just send them.
Fucking hell, how easy to spin on the...
Oh!
The trees, they are my enemy.
About that, I just had to disconnect very briefly. Right then. If anybody is still struggling with the reverse maneuver, they should come and join me at the platoon waypoint. If you are done with the reverse maneuver, if you understand how to make your Reaver fly backwards, you can go ahead and land at the Alpha Squad waypoint. And if everybody's ready to move on, then we will. So, reverse maneuvering people to the platoon waypoint. Anybody who's happy with the reverse maneuver, head towards the Alpha Squad waypoint. Okay, and so we've still got a few people who need to practice the reverse maneuver, so if those guys want to continue, as soon as you're happy, come and join us over at the Alpha Squad waypoint.
Wait, once again, if I am happy with my reverse maneuver, I should go where?
Alpha Squad waypoint. If you're happy, you should go to the Alpha Squad waypoint. If you're unhappy, you should go to the platoon waypoint.
Yeah, and the platoon waypoint is yellow, right?
Platoon waypoint has 2 chevrons, the squad waypoints have 3. So it's the green one with 3 chevrons is Alpha.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry I get easily confused by those two. The problem is I have Alpha, Bravo, Delta, ATC set on different shades of green, so I don't mistake them for anything else, so it gets harder for me to distinguish those between.
No, I don't go backwards, I always go forwards. It doesn't work.
It fucking helps if you're turning, sir.
Oh yeah, this is the other thing. Anybody who has been using A and D to turn in a Reaver has been doing it wrong.
Oh yeah.
So if you use nose down to turn, you just throw your belly in the direction you want to go and use nose down, you'll spin on the spot.
Oh, I'm finding it a lot easier to turn. Before, my mouse was going halfway across the table.
Yeah.
Can you explain that again, Ash? What do you mean by that?
Okay, if you got your Reaver in the air, okay, if you roll the Reaver sideways, so you've got your belly facing left, and then press the nose down keybinding, you'll spin on the spot. So you can turn to go in a different direction, effectively on a dime. And you can use that maneuver to, use that little trick to change direction in, hey, I want to go up and to the right or something. You can do pretty much instantly.
So while they're trying to do all their fancy maneuvers, you can stay in the spot and just track them.
Oh, absolutely. Anybody who is trying to sort of Tom Cruise dogfighting it by buzzing really close to the ground and under trees and all this kind of stuff, just fly over, wait for them to come out the other side, if they come out the other side, and then just shoot them then. Like, why bother going and doing all that fancy shit when you can just shoot them? Like, you're not going to lose them, like, especially when they go and dive underneath really low bridges and things. Like there's only one other side they can come out, and they're running at max speed, so they're not going to double back. You know, it's very easy to predict them.
Oh shit! Right, done off. The nose up one, you fucking bank left or bank right. Well, fucking hell, you fly around.
Yep, and that is one of the best evasive tools you can use, is to go with the nose up, nose down, reverse maneuver, then roll. Because it's such a smooth and fluid movement, people will read the nose up, nose down, try to counter you, and then all of a sudden you're over up on their left or on their right, and you're not where they're expecting you.
I think the fact is that if you do the reverse maneuver, that you go twice as fast forwards. Confuses them as well.
Yeah, and of course the final thing to remember with all of this is that you guys have been playing for how long, and you're just learning this. There are so many people in this game that don't know even these sorts of maneuvers. Because you have to YouTube them, and you have to know what they're called.
Yeah, I've been playing for a year and a half, and I never knew that.
One of the things you just never...
I just don't
Absolutely. So, if anybody is still having difficulty, head back to the platoon waypoint, just let me know, and
I give up.
we'll continue working on it.
I get headaches trying to think. It's too many axes for me.
Who is this? Aldi?
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, where are you? Where are you hiding?
Oh, I'm back at, I died again.
You sure you're back at the platoon waypoint? The in-person is Matt.
I can go that way though. Got a fourth Reaver.
Oh, the I kept crashing when I first did it, mate. So.
Oh god, yeah, I mean you're flying backwards, so this is not the kind of thing that you do.
I don't get it to fly backwards. I fly twice as fast forwards. That's it.
Okay then. So first thing to do, Aldi,
go up,
is
get
come
down.
to... Yeah, don't worry. We're going to do the sideways one, because personally I think it's easier. Right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to come to a complete hover. So get the Reaver nice and flat. Roll your belly sideways. Nose down and spacebar. And you are actually moving backwards.
That's a cliff face.
That wasn't bad.
If you tap the afterburner at the same time, so that's shift, you will immediately begin flying backwards at quite a rate. So you should be over next to the spawn now, right?
Yep, I'm redeploying. I redeployed.
Excellent. Yeah, I just want you to know, Inertial, that, sorry Aldi, that remember I had to do this when it was no VR, so every crash cost me 170 odd resources. Right, so it's come to a complete hover. So I'm watching you, that's all. Right, you come to a complete hover, you turn sideways, you press nose down, space bar, and then you can add shift. Once you add the afterburner, you'll begin flying backwards, and by holding spacebar, you'll maintain that.
This time, this one I got actually. I flew backwards.
Yeah, there we go. That's my favourite one because it's pretty difficult to track.
Do that again.
Okay. That is, you start with the Reaver in a normal hover, so come to a complete hover and go sideways, and then roll the Reaver sideways, press nose down and spacebar, and you'll sort of begin this horrible spinning thing. You then add afterburner, and you begin flying up. Unfortunately, I'm not a spider, and I do need my push to talk key for the afterburner.
Should have a foot pedal for that.
I was actually, that's why it's going to be my next question, because I had to use my push to talk for this one.
What
the hell?
So I take it you fly guys don't fly with the joystick then? You keyboard mouse?
Sorry, could you say that again? I can hear command chat discussing the intricacies of orbs.
So you fly boys, you don't use joystick mouse, it's keyboard, joystick and it's all...
Oh god no, if you're going to aim and hit anything you need a mouse, because you need the fine manoeuvring.
I tried with joystick once, it was kind of worse, because these aircraft don't behave like a normal airplane.
For the actual flying, joysticks are great because you can get max lock without any real problem, but that's what the pitch up and pitch down buttons are for. That's the entire benefit of a joystick in 2 buttons. Okay, one quick thing that I would like everybody to have a go at once they've got the reverse maneuver going is try the sideways reverse maneuver, but then try changing directions mid-flight. So you'll be rolling with your, I don't know, your belly facing towards the right of the screen. Try rolling mid-reverse, so that you've now got it going to the left. And you'll go all over the shop, which is great because it makes you really, really freaking difficult to hit. And then, if and when you are happy, head to the Alpha Squad waypoint. If you are not happy, if you still need practice or whatever, head towards the platoon waypoint, and we will continue until we get you doing reverse maneuvers. Excellent, it's just me and Matt. Matt, are you struggling, or are you now AFK? I tried knocking on his window with my chain gun, but he didn't respond, so I'm going to assume he's AFK. Right then, reverse maneuvering is a really, really solid tool. When you end up face to face with an enemy, you can use it to generate distance, and distance is good if we're using Tomcats, because the further away we are, the harder we are to hit with the nose gun, and if we're hard to hit, then it's easier for us to kill with the Tomcats. There is, however, another way to make ourselves hard to hit, and that is to dodge. So the last thing I want to do is quickly teach how you dodge while hover fighting. Dodging and shooting is an expert level thing that will take you a very, very long time to master. But dodging itself is exceptionally easy. So all we do is we bring the Reaver to a hover. I recommend choosing an open space while we're practicing. If you bring the Reaver to a hover, then you turn them to one side and press spacebar, and you will begin moving in a direction. And then, to continue dodging, simply continue rolling the Reaver, changing directions randomly, and you will make yourself significantly harder to hit. Remember that you can use the mouse to keep pointing towards your target. You should be face to face with them at all times.
Ash,
and
can I just ask? I'm left-handed, so all my controls are different. When you say spacebar, what exactly are you doing?
That's
Hover.
Hover. So that's up. physically lift off. So the button you use to take
Ascend,
off.
yeah. Okay.
It's
cheers,
ascend,
yeah.
yes. It's
Ascend.
descend in the Keybinding.
Thanks, yep.
Okay. Then if you want to get really advanced, what you can do is you can alternate between spacebar, up and down, which should be default to control, I believe.
It's control for default.
Yeah. So you can also go downwards or move much slower in a particular direction. By switching between these, you will make yourself insanely hard to hit, especially for your average Joe, who probably doesn't have very much experience. Combining that with then picking and choosing your shots, if you're assigned to attacking other aircraft, using Tomcats with that as well, you will achieve a spectacular kill to death. And that, my friends, is how to cheese your MLG Pro hyper skill nose gun wielding coyote noob, and cheesing him with Tomcats and a few little basic flight tricks. I'm going to head back towards the landing pad next to the spawns, and we can do a quick Q&A for any specific issues.
I think it's something you just got practice and play within it and live.
Yep, the reverse maneuver itself doesn't get any more complicated, but remembering how to do it while somebody is shooting at you, that takes enough practice that it's just instinctive.
I personally found it really good practice to use the readers whenever for ground targets, so you can keep your view on the ground targets which don't move too much. They are quite easy to track, and you practice your reverse maneuver that way. I know some people really like rocket pods, and especially don't like them being used against infantry, but it's really nice way to learn how to fly the missiles. At least those, like the basic controls and stuff like that. Much better than in those girls. Those people are crazy. They just have those skills. Yes. Sorry for rambling.
Right then. Same format as usual. If you don't have a question, stand at the bottom of the stairs. If you do have a question, come stand in front of the turret. I'll call your name, and then we can. Thank you, Sol. And then we can go from there. So if there is anything that has confused you about anything that we've done today, please feel free to ask questions. I would encourage everybody to practice using these things. They're very useful, and I know we all had quite a lot of fun when we were running an air squad the other day. Air squads need both Liberators and Reavers. So it's worth learning how to use them. Ah, excellent. This is my favourite kind of training, the one where everybody understood everything. Oh, here we go. They're lining up now. What's up, Gary?
So I'm thinking about the wait. Give me a second. Yes, about the defense slot. What do you prefer, a repair over composite?
Oh, absolutely. If you are choosing composite armor, you've chosen wrong. You can use flares. Flares are totally justifiable because lock-ons are a pain in the arse. However, the fire suppression will repair 25% of the aircraft's health once max ranks. That really can't be sniffed at. You press a button and 25% of your vehicle's health comes back, plus any red health you may or may have not had at the time. So you can prepare for something like 35% health. Just instantly, without even trying.
Okay.
So for defense slot, flares, if you're, low down and you're going to get hit by infantry. Otherwise, fire suppression pretty much all the way.
Alright, thank you.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to ask? Shotgun, fire away.
Okay, you talked about dogfighting air-to-air tactics. What about air-to-ground? Any specific tactics that might be useful?
Sure. The most important tactic when going air-to-ground, there is only one specific tactic that helps. Beyond just shoot them. Infantry and AA maxes and all these sorts of things, they don't like being shot at. They do die, so shooting at them is the most effective way to kill them. Specifically, when engaging things like anti-air turrets, you can do something called cat and mouse. Cat and mouse is it's a pretty easy tactic to get the hang of. If you're being shot at by the emplaced AA, so a Skyguard or an AA turret, you are the mouse. And your job is just to dodge, stay alive, create distance, make it very difficult to hit you. When the gunner in the AA turret changes target, the person he changes target to should announce that he is now being shot at, and he is now the mouse. The person who was the mouse now becomes the cat. Turns around and goes on the offensive and begins shooting at the AA, the AA turret or the Skyguard or whatever. It's cat and mouse. It's a pretty simple strategy to get your head around. If you're being shot at, dodge. If you're not being shot at, shoot him. But it kills AA defenses incredibly effectively. Because things like flak are not very good against dodging targets. They're only good against clumped or stupid targets. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, but was expecting something more. That was the basic stuff we already know, or most of us already know.
Indeed, I'm afraid, in all seriousness, the best way to fight against ground targets is to just shoot at them. You can make them get scared, you can push them under cover, and once people are hiding and trying to take pot shots at you instead of just fighting you, you can just pick them off one at a time. Your guns are much bigger than theirs. Anybody else have any questions?
All I can say is I know how to do it.
Excellent. I think that about sums it up. And that was how to play a Reaver against MLG Pro super hardcore players in less than an hour. Practice makes perfect, but given how much fun it was dicking around as a giant air squad the last time we did it, I expect we may be doing it again in the future.